place. Find more ways to explore than ever before. Coming soon to Arizona PBS.
He wasn't just a good player, he was a superstar.
It was us against the world.
He had a kind of fury in him.
He's taking horrible abuse and death threats.
He took on everything that we were afraid to face and faced it.
We will inspire the greatest vote in the history of this nation.
He wasn't just a really good second baseman. He changed the entire country.
Monday night at 8 on Arizona PBS. Support for Arizona PBS comes from viewers like you and from
Hospice of the Valley, medical, social, and spiritual care for patients nearing end of life, and support for their families. A not-for-profit community hospice, HOV.org.
Whether you need a complete upper and lower denture or a denture that is held in the mouth with implants, the denture experts strive to have a solution for you with their digital technology. Information and appointments at thedentureexperts.com or 480-275-6284.
From the Cronkite Studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
National School Walkout Day sparks action across Arizona. Hundreds of students go to the state capitol to show lawmakers that they want gun reform and school safety.
Plus, student concerns over school safety in Flagstaff lead to walkouts and a community meeting at Northern Arizona University.
And from our state to the nation's capital to the West Coast, Cronkite News has nationwide team coverage on this day of action.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Adriana de Alba.
And I'm Troy Lynch. Thank you for joining us.
A day of action across the valley, around the state, and from coast to coast.
Students are saying enough, calling for gun reform and school safety measures 1 month after the massacre at a Florida high school.
Tonight, Cronkite News has team coverage on this walkout for reform from our newsroom here in the Valley, live in Flagstaff, and live in our news bureaus in Washington, D.C. and Los Angeles. We begin with reporter Gabriela Bacara reporting from the Arizona State Capitol.
They're not doing anything to put our lives first. And so we're here to meet them face to face.
Students walked into the House of Representatives at the Arizona Capitol wearing shirts showing gun violence statistics to meet with legislators. Jordan Harb organized this event for those students on spring break on National Walkout Day. He says they want to be heard.
We're here to meet with them personally and ask them why they're ignoring us.
Democratic Representative Isela Blanc says that she is supportive and hopes legislators will listen.
The youth are the most important voice, and the fact that they are willing to take time from their spring break to have their voices heard is powerful.
The students were passionate about wanting to see changes with gun safety in their schools.
You're going into what feels like a war zone.
Senior at Pinnacle High School Jamie Horowitz says walking into school with 2 entrances and guards doesn't feel like a proper school setting.
We're going to school, not prison. Like it's not okay. We're supposed to be learning.
Sienna Traherne, a middle school science teacher, says that campuses should be safe places for students.
It makes you emotional and it makes you so disheartened because that's one of the very few places where you should always feel safe, where you shouldn't have to question what if a shooter comes in.
Senior at Anthem Preparatory Academy, Molly Jimerson, says she is a gun violence survivor and doesn't want what she went through to happen to someone else.
Gun violence isn't your problem until it is your problem, and it became my problem, and I'm going to do something about it because it shouldn't be anyone else's problem ever again.
Jimerson says she was robbed at gunpoint at work. In downtown Phoenix, I'm Gabriela Bacara, Cronkite News.
The Puente movement is concerned about increasing police on campus. They came to the state capitol today to let lawmakers know that they're concerned about recent studies that show the disproportionate punishment of minority students by school resource officers. They're also concerned that many cities' officers are also deputized by ICE, which can make undocumented students fearful to come to school.
I think the reason I'm in that is because cops aren't safety to me, and that's my school. I go there 5 days a week, and I have to feel safe.
Students in the D.C. area marched from the White House to the Capitol to voice their concerns about gun policy.
House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi and other members of Congress joined the protests.
Our Congressional Solidarity Walk-Up is here to say enough is enough. Whether Orlando, San Bernardino, South Carolina, Las Vegas, Newtown, Sutherland Springs, Parkland, city streets, homes across the nation, there's been too much violence, too much heartbreak.
Quote, fearless insistence on gun control. Reporter Shelby Lindsay was in the crowd and starts our team coverage in Washington.
The crowd at the Capitol today included thousands of chanting, cheering high school students. But people I talked to also included parents, middle schoolers, and some folks you wouldn't normally see at a Nancy Pelosi speech.
Niger Coates, a 17-year-old high school student from Silver Spring, Maryland, was here to support gun reform. But the Make America Great Again supporter also said we should place more of the blame on the actual shooters.
A DUI, we blame the driver. In a mass bombing, we blame the bomber. But in a mass shooting, we blame the gun and the NRA. Why do we do that?
William Zardi came all the way from Round Rock, Texas with his family to join in support.
I cannot be at work and thinking, okay, what, I hear a shooting at school and figure out, okay, what are they gonna do with my kids?
16-year-old Emily Gordon, who came from Sandy Spring Friends School in Maryland, said she's here so she and her classmates can feel safe in school.
This honestly is so great, being with all these teens, and we all just want to be safe, and it's really fun, especially chanting with everybody and just feeling safe, because I'm surrounded by kids who just want to live and don't want to live in fear.
The rally came just hours before the House passed the Stop School Violence Act to give teachers and police training to identify signs of potential violence. The White House welcomed the bill that it said supports evidence-based violence prevention. Nina Tobin, Zoe Miller, and Emily Garner are all middle school students at Silver Spring International School in Maryland, and they had a message for lawmakers.
We're here and we're here to stay.
Reporting from Capitol Hill, Shelby Lindsay, Cronkite News.
I'm Ariana Bustos at Georgetown University, where Phoenix resident Isabella McClelland says using guns against gun violence isn't the answer.
You can't put out fire with more fire, so yeah, students shouldn't feel unsafe in school, and I don't think adding more guns to the mix is the solution.
McClelland walked out of school today with hundreds of other Georgetown University students and thousands of high school students across the nation to demand new gun laws. Student Zach Fagan had a personal connection to the event. Fagan's cousin, Victoria Soto, a teacher, was killed in the Sandy Hook school shooting in 2012. 6 years later, Fagan says he still has hope for change.
It's just a continuous cycle of it happens, people care about it for a few days, and then it goes away. But I think this time we have seen this movement last longer.
The event here lasted for 17 minutes in honor of the 17 victims of the Parkland shooting. Student Amanda Shepard, who helped organize the walkout at Georgetown, says passion about gun violence will not go away.
And there is so much momentum, so really making sure that we can harness that momentum into action.
Just anything really that will protect our kids, protect the students, protect everyone really. Like no one deserves to feel unsafe, in public places or at school.
Reporting from Washington, Ariana Bustos, Cronkite News.
A community meeting at Northern Arizona University is set for tonight after a day of action for students and Flagstaff.
That's where Cronkite News reporter Nicole Gutierrez joins us live. Nicole?
Here in Flagstaff, some high schools walked out to join today's movement. But at the Flagstaff Arts and Leadership Academy, high school students walked out and stood for 17 minutes behind 17 chairs as a call for action. Flagstaff Arts and Leadership Academy took a stand on gun control, even before walking out.
There's something about seeing an installation piece like the one out front that had an emotional impact beyond what I felt as a teacher in a while about these shootings.
At 10 a.m. this morning, more than 200 students walked out of their class to stand behind 17 chairs with flowers and candles to remember the Parkland victims.
As a teacher, I feel like The student voices are the voices that need to be prioritized.
The walkout was led by senior Elizabeth Whiteman in hopes of putting an end to what she calls the normalization of school shootings.
I hope that it receives some sort of acknowledgement from our representatives. At least start talking about taking some sort of action instead of just mourning and acting like it's just sort of a natural occurrence.
Whiteman says that the shooting that happened in Florida has inspired them to think about what it means to be part of a community.
So even though I'm leaving and I'm graduating in just a few months, this school has been so important to me. You know, you owe something to the communities that brought you up to protect them and make sure the people who are left there that you're leaving behind are left behind in a safe place.
Students at Brophy College Preparatory participated in the national walkout today, united in solidarity by their Jesuit background in education.
Cronkite News reporter Madison Stark was at the religious remembrance event.
Hundreds of students gathered at Brophy College Preparatory in remembrance of the 17 Parkland shooting victims.
We can come together as a community, a Catholic community, to live out our faith and help people who are obviously vulnerable in our community today. It's really important for us to stand in solidarity with others, but also to push forward for action for some change.
Brophy President Adria Ranke was moved by her students' actions.
We're a Jesuit school. We're contemplatives in action. We're supposed to pray, but then solve.
The Brophy Student Advocacy Club invited students and faculty to join an open discussion about gun violence in schools. Gun experts were invited to the forum to help educate students and faculty on the issues of gun violence. Brophy freshman Alex Zonarek attended the discussion and feels it's important for his fellow classmates to be educated as well.
You're not going to solve anything by being one-minded, not listening to anybody. The only way to solve a problem is to look at both sides.
Brophy College Preparatory plans to send representatives to the March for Our Lives event on March 24th. In Central Phoenix, Madison Stark, Cronkite News.
Many other Valley schools that were in session hosted walkout events on their campuses, with students filling their sports fields, making speeches, and standing in silence.
Reporter Amanda Slee went to one event at Mountain Ridge High School in Glendale.
In the West Valley, student organizers Riley Tinnell and Jacob Sumner helped the students spell out the letters ENOUGH in honor of the Parkland shooting victims.
It sparked something in me, like that could have been my best friend dying right in front of me, and I would have no control over it.
But Tinnell said some of the students thought the walkout was, quote, absurd. In a school of about 2,200, a district official estimated that a couple hundred students participated. The district learned early on that the students were planning to walk down a busy street off campus, and that's when they stepped in to make sure the kids stayed safe.
So administrators worked with student leaders and allowed them some time. No more than 20 minutes to, and they chose 17 based on the 17 victims to hold an event today.
Some students surrounding Zane Collins, who says he lost his cousin in the Parkland shooting, chanted, "Enough is enough."
Enough is enough! Come on! Enough is enough!
I felt that there would be some people that just kind of came out here to just get out of class, and it really pisses me off because they don't know the pain of losing someone. Well, maybe they do, but being shot, I just think it's upsetting. So I want to truly make a difference.
The organizers read the names of all 17 victims. After the 17 minutes, students returned to class. In Glendale, Amanda Slee, Cronkite News.
The Los Angeles Unified School District encouraged students to engage in 17 acts of kindness instead of participating in the national school walkouts.
Reporters Brooke DeGumbia and Micah Bledsoe visited 2 Southern California schools. Let's start with Micah.
Today, Brooke and I attended 2 different locations, one high school and one middle school, where students staged their own form of protest with very different tactics. Students from Palms Middle School decided to take it upon themselves to coordinate their own walkout after not being able to make arrangements with their front office administration.
Nobody ever should say that 11, 12, 13, 14-year-olds don't have a voice, that they don't matter, that what they say doesn't matter. And any person who says that should be ashamed of themselves.
Rashawn Primus is a student leadership coordinator at Palms Middle School who teaches students to stand for what they believe. She helped students coordinate the walkout after school officials urged students to stay on campus.
People were saying that since we were middle schoolers, we weren't able to walk out because, you know, high schoolers in the same district are doing the same thing. And I really just wanted to show that we have a voice.
Holmes and student leadership say that today's walkout isn't the end of their activism.
One walkout that they've scheduled doesn't mean that we're not going to write letters to Congress, that we're not going to fight in our own school, that we're not going to have conversations, and we just have to keep going.
These children articulated themselves, they stood up for themselves, they organized themselves, and that's, as adults, as educators, that's what we teach them to do.
I'm Brooke DeGumbia in Venice, where students are taking a different approach to National School Walkout Day. They have events set up on their front lawn, urging voter registration, and a petition demanding common sense gun laws.
I'm trying to get as many students as possible to come right, to see that we do stand and we do want to change, because it's time for a change.
Several tables and banners filled the front lawn. They also set up 17 desks in memory of each student and teacher killed on February 14th. Student Thomas Kuhn organized this event with help from McKenna Choney and 25 other students.
I was getting tired of this cycle of just like a tragedy happening and like talking about it for a while.
Parkland for me was my breaking point. I felt that I couldn't sit around and watch these things happen and wait for legislators to make laws.
Volunteer parents also assisted.
I'm sorry, I'm crying because it's very emotional for me, and I'm just here to support.
At 10 a.m., students filled the front lawn and gathered around the stage.
I truly believe the students are going to be the future of the conversation, and could not be more proud of the way Venice is headed.
In Venice, Brooke DeGumbia, Cronkite News.
You can track our full multimedia coverage on today's gun reform rallies and school walkouts online.
Go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org for all of the day's developing stories.
Still ahead on Cronkite News, the fight for DACA continues. Find out what the Hispanic Caucus is demanding for our dreamers.
Also, minimum wage, still a hot topic here in Arizona. Prop 206 is demanding voters rethink minimum wage legislation. This includes not only hourly pay, but paid time off. More on this when we return.
I'm Judy Woodruff, anchor and managing editor of the PBS NewsHour. The journalists of tomorrow face a fast-changing media landscape, but quality news remains vitally important to our communities, our country, and our world. At ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication, students learn solid, reliable reporting, holding the powerful accountable, and rebuilding the public's trust. The Cronkite School and Arizona PBS, preparing the next generation for a stronger future of journalism.
As journalists at Cronkite News, we report on stories that matter to you by focusing on the local impact. We dig deeper and work tirelessly to keep you informed.
Live in Wickerburg.
Live in Los Angeles.
In Cleveland.
In Washington. In Louisville.
From Jerusalem.
Live in Philadelphia. From around the world to right here in Phoenix.
At Cronkite News, we report the facts and stick to the truth.
Millions of people die every year from drinking dirty water. I would never have felt I had the ability to do something without ASU pushing me. We built filtration systems out of local materials with the people. To see those kids drink clean water for the first time, it's the most rewarding feeling that you can ever have. I went to ASU because I wanted to change the world. The thing I never would have expected is how the world would have changed me.
Congress is once again facing a deadline to pass a budget or shut down the government, and Democratic lawmakers are once again demanding that the DREAM Act legislation be part of any budget bill. Cronkite News reporter Austin Bundy brings us the story from our Washington bureau.
With the future of the DACA program still uncertain, House Democrats are demanding a vote on the DREAM Act. Illinois Congressman Luis Gutierrez said dreamers' lives are not bargaining chips.
We want a clean dream bill that we can vote on. And you can't say you're going to release one hostage by taking another. That's not the way we're going to do this.
However, Democrats won't vote for just any immigration plan. Representative Raul Grijalva specifically targeted a Republican bill co-sponsored by Representative Martha McSally as a non-starter.
You know, the Goodlatte-McSally bill is awful. It only temporarily takes care of DACA recipients and DACA-eligible young people in this country, and it continues this regimen of ratcheting up the militarization on the border.
Democrats say a vote on immigration reform is long overdue, but House Speaker Paul Ryan has said that he will not mix immigration reform with the budget debate. Vermont Congressman Peter Welch said Democrats are only asking for a chance to vote on the issue.
Raise your hand, put your card in the voting well, and say to the American people where you stand. But give us the chance to do the same.
In Washington, Austin Bundy, Cronkite News.
The current budget extension, the 6th so far this fiscal year, expires a week from Friday. Congress has to approve a budget or another budget extension if it wants to keep the government from shutting down then.
Another twist in the fight over Prop 206, the voter-approved measure to boost the minimum wage. Arizona House Speaker J.D. Mesnard introduced House Concurrent Resolution 2028. The bill would ask voters to reconsider the retaliation provision of Proposition 206 in the November ballot. The provision, as it stands right now, makes it illegal for employees to take any adverse action against an employee within 90 days of the employee requesting minimum wage or paid sick time off. The organizer for Lucha says the bill aims to undo the progress made by the voters.
It's a double-pronged attack on Proposition 206. Mesnard's proposed legislation takes about 1/4 of the provisions, and then Sylvia Allen's takes the rest that deal with the increased minimum wage.
The House bill passed the Senate Commerce and Public Safety Committee Monday in a party line 5-3 vote. The bill is now awaiting to be heard by the full Senate. The Senate bill did not pass all of its assigned committees.
Mommy visits to the doctor during pregnancy are just as crucial after the baby has been born.
Coming up on Cronkite News, how one nonprofit is bringing awareness to mental health after pregnancy.
Clouds are bringing cooler temperatures. Your full forecast coming up after the break.
I'm Ted Simons, host and managing editor of Arizona Horizon. Join us each weekday at 5:30 and 10 as we bring you the top newsmakers who impact the state. We cover the stories in depth that shape and affect our local communities, and we take the time to ensure that all voices are equally heard. For more than 30 years, Arizona Horizon has been your voice and your source for what matters most, right here on Arizona PBS.
Women can experience anxiety and depression during pregnancy and even after the child is born. Madison Miller explains how new mothers can get guidance to be happier and healthier.
I slowly just deteriorated, kind of waiting for, to know what was going to happen, whether my baby was fine or not.
Cindy Herrick suffered from severe morning sickness as well as depression and anxiety during the 2nd and 3rd trimester of her pregnancy. She's not alone.
With more than 1 out of 9 Arizona women experiencing maternal mental health issues, there is a critical need to raise awareness of how frequently anxiety and depression affect the entire family.
OBGYNs say women need mental health screenings during pregnancy and for several weeks after their child is born. In the state of Arizona, 40% of women do not show up for the 6-week postpartum visit, and the state is calling for doctors to do screenings at 2 weeks after birth as well. Dr. Syra Kalia, a psychiatrist at U of A, says that mothers who have postpartum depression feel isolated, but it affects the entire family.
If the mom is depressed, the odds of the father being depressed are about 50%. It's treatable. It is so treatable. You can identify it early.
Symptoms of depression can be caught during the screenings. Herrick now shares her story to help others as an ambassador for the nonprofit group 2020 Mom.
There will be curveballs. And so I'm very grateful, I think, because having gone through the journey of wondering if I would ever enjoy this journey, I don't take it for granted at all.
In Phoenix, Madison Miller, Cronkite News.
Alan, the weather has been good to us lately.
Yeah, how long is this going to last?
Well, good temperatures are going to keep going throughout the entire week, and that's thanks to clouds going down on cooler temperatures. Now, let's get a look at those current temperatures going on across the state. It is 81 degrees in Phoenix. Our high point is 83 degrees in Casa Grande. And, of course, as we move north, things cool off a bit. It's 63 degrees in Sedona and 57 degrees at the Grand Canyon. What's going on tonight, though? It's 55 degrees. That's the low. It's mostly clear outside. Strong winds, though, up to 20 miles per hour. So make sure to bring an extra layer if you plan to go outside. The highs for tomorrow all across the valley. Look at that. They're taking a double-digit dip. 63 degrees is the low point in Fountain Hills in the east. And as we move west towards Buckeye, it's a 68-degree high point. Now, let's take a look at what's happening this weekend. Nothing but clouds. Those highs in the 60s continue with a 74-degree high on Friday. And as we move into next week, we get a little bit of break from those clouds on Sunday and Tuesday, and then a 80 degrees high on those next week. I'm Alan Hazard from the Cronkite Weather Center.
It isn't easy to raise $500,000 for charity, and it isn't easy to raise that money annually, but a few nonprofit groups do just that to help Valley students get the best education possible. Kate Gardner talked with people making it all happen.
Dinner is over at the Boys Hope Girls Hope House, and now it's time to talk money.
And a lot of great momentum.
Many of these scholars have been living away from their parents since they were 14, part of the program to support their housing, transportation, and tuition at college prep schools.
Being able to be mentored and guided through it, that's what helps us get to college.
Each scholar, like Roberto Huerta, needs upwards of $16,000 a year to pay for school. That's where the Boys Hope Girls Hope home steps in to help.
It doesn't just stop there. Once scholars are in college, then it goes on to helping you through college, and the process goes on.
That's why leaders from groups like Brokers for Kids and Scottsdale Active 2030 are fundraising nonstop. Last year, collecting $500,000.
You can only send so many kids based on the money you have, and again, these are exceptional minds.
In Arizona, more than 60,000 children attend private schools. Here, 90 scholars who would only have access to low-rated public schools are given a chance to attend highly rated private schools. Scholars from Boys Hope Girls Hope believe those who are helping them get into college will be there to help them long after they graduate high school.
I think that it's what you make of it. I think it's definitely become a family to me.
Students, mentors, and organization leaders make sacrifices for one reason.
I saw this as somewhere I needed to be in order to be successful, so it wasn't too hard.
In Phoenix, Kate Garner, Cronkite News.
Boys Hope Girls Hope Arizona currently has 90 scholars. Of the 90, 32 are now attending college. The program has the goal of adding 6 new spots for scholars every year. That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
The last of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. His most magnificent location yet, Yanni, the Dream Concert, live from the Great Pyramids of Egypt.
Tonight at 8:30 on Arizona PBS. Explore new ideas and new worlds here on Arizona PBS, a community service of Arizona State University.
The easiest and best way to support Arizona PBS is by becoming a sustaining member. Your monthly contribution of $5 or more comes directly from your bank account or credit card, so you know your membership is always current. It also means no more renewal notices in your mailbox. So more of your dollars go to the programs you love. It's convenient for you, greener for us, and better for the planet. Become a sustaining member today.
Coming up next on Arizona PBS, Life and World. When you want to be more connected, friend us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter,
watch us online. Coming soon to Arizona PBS.
Join moderator Robert Costa.
When I was at the Capitol this week,
and a panel of award-winning journalists.
You're seeing a divided nation, and you're seeing
for insights and